Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of the Great Indian Retirement Show. I am your host, Kurian, and today we will discuss the role of financial advisors in retirement planning. The world of personal finance is a complex landscape. Financial advisors play a pivotal role in guiding their clients in setting and achieving their financial goals. Joining me today is one such advisor, Mathav, who has had a long stint with mutual funds, has moved to use his experience towards advising clients with various financial products beyond mutual funds. He is currently head products at 2i Wealth. Welcome, Mathav.
Thank you, Kurian.
So I think the most important word here is trust. So what do you do as an advisor to get trust? How do you talk to a person and the person is actually handing over their personal savings to you? So when you meet somebody, how do you go about it and become a trusted advisor? Because it takes time for somebody to build trust.
You're absolutely right. It takes a longer time to get a trust. Most of the customers we handle is through the reference of somebody they know or he knows, she knows kind of a one. So half of the bridge is crossed in that way. And how you demonstrate for their well-being. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a short period of time. You have to be constantly talking about their wellness, constantly talking about the importance of savings and investments, constantly give the right advice to them. Over a period of time, they will be getting into the mode of they start trusting you, number one. Number two, in the same context, after some time, right, once the trust has been created, that puts a lot of pressure on us, Korean. Why? Because after some time, since they are trusting you completely, they say, Madhav, you take care. Madhav, I'm okay with whatever you are suggesting, which we completely not very much convinced about that. Why? Because in every part of their journey, every actions when they do it, we educate them. Because education is very, very important in this aspect. And since they are clueless about this financial worlds, financial jargons, investments, future value of money, even inflation, they are not comfortable with that. Over a period of time, right, they'll completely leave it to you. That puts a lot of pressure on us to furthermore take care of their investment journey.
You're absolutely right. And I think more and more people are slowly getting educated that there are investment instruments available. But I think the question is, how do you get somebody to actually prepare for retirement? I mean, when you talk to a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old or a 25-year-old, and you're talking about retirements, which something could be very far away, or even a 50-year-old. Everybody wants to believe that they are superhumans and they will never retire and the cash flow will never stop. So how do you broach the topic of retirement, prepare somebody to prepare for retirement?
Yeah, there are so many ways. If you look at practically when we approach our clients, there are from different age groups. People who are at 30s, you are in 40s, people who are at 50s, right? The talking about the importance of retirement saving is an essential part in this process. Unless they understand they require money from 60 to 85 or 60 to 90, unless they understand, it's very, very difficult. How much ever you go and talk about technicals, fund growth, the products giving return, all those things fine. But unless they felt, okay, like how education is important for a kid, the retirement money is very much required for all these people. Having said which, since these people, they don't have the pensions, the regular pensions hitting in their bank account month on month, this is further more difficult. They haven't seen the worst part, right? They haven't seen the worst part in this decade. They have seen the people who are neighbors or your relatives who used to work in a corporate, used to work in a government organization. They came out, they started getting a huge retirement pensions month on month. They've only seen the best in front of their eyes. They have not seen the worst, right? And as you know, post 2004, whoever has joined the corporations and except the PF part, which they are doing as a forcible or a compulsory savings, they don't have enough corpus, right? So we need to educate them, boss, whatever you are doing it, which is not sufficient for your retirement, which is from 60 to 85, 90. You need to have X corpus, so you have to talk about the importance. The second thing is the calculation part. right? One is more on the behavioral side, tuning them for the retirement thing. Second thing is the science part, right? Today your monthly expenses is close to ₹1,00,000 or close to ₹2,00,000. When you turn 60, the same amount is not sufficient because of the 20 years inflation. If you add it in your monthly expenses, it gives you a different picture altogether. If you give that calculation in front of them, right, they are happy. They are mentally prepared for, okay, let me start doing the retirement corpus. This is point number 2. Point number 3, we are seeing a very distinct difference between the person who is 30 years old, person who are at 40, 50 years old. The mentality or mindset is totally different from the others, right? As you get closer to the retirement period, especially the middle age, right, 45 to 50, right, the seriousness of retirement coming into the picture, though it's very good, but if you lose the first 10 years, 25 to 35 or 30 to 40, right, the compounding effect, you are losing it big time. That's one of the essential part in the retirement saving. If they start understanding these things, right, I am not seeing as a big problem. So once they start understanding these things are much easier because they've understood, okay, this is a required thing. If I miss it now, and then I'm going to face trouble in the future.
So how do you approach retirement for maybe a 25-year-old or a 45-year-old or a 50-year-old, somebody who is self-employed, somebody who is working in a corporate? Do you have different plans that you would want to discuss with people for different requirements?
Yes, Kurian, it's very much that's how the approach is, right? When you go and talk about retirement to a 24-year-old guy, right? It goes, it's like a bouncer to them, right? As they progress in their age, right, in 30s, late 30s or early 40s, the seriousness started coming into the picture. Right, that's number 1. Number 2 is today, if you look at, when you discuss with most of the people, many people say, can I retire at 55? Yeah. Can I retire at 50? Is this corpus sufficient for me? And then when we put the calculation, for some people, yes, for many people, it's no. So in that context, max is the very important things. We put the cash flow, we put the future value projection and say, this is what required when you retire at 50, 55, 60, and then work backwards. And when you show that particular picture to them, the calculation to them, they are okay with that one.
Yeah, that you touched upon the point. That's what we call the FIRE generation, financially independent, retire early. I mean, that's wishful thinking for a lot of us. I'm sure there are a lot of people who do that, but it's not very easy. And I think everybody finally requires different solutions for different products, and you have different investment products that are available. And purely, I totally agree. From a retirement, you talk to a 25-year-old or 30-year-old and say retirement, it says it's very far away. Let me live my life. Let me buy my physical assets. Let me buy a house. Let me take care of EMIs, and then I will slowly start investing for my retirement also. You also touched upon the Provident Fund. I think that's the one that comes closest to Social Security in India, but frankly, it's not enough. One of the aspects which we work with, which is the National Pension System, is something we believe that it comes close. It may not be the best, but it comes close. It gives you investment solutions. It allows you to invest into equities, GSECs, corporate bonds, alternate assets. It allows you to dial up and dial down equity. It allows you to be actively manage their portfolios. It allows you to passively manage the portfolios. But this is a product which really has not seen too much uptake. How has your experience been with NPS when you are talking to potential investors?
Yeah, NPS as a product per se, that's one part. Second thing, on an overall approach towards investment savings, even that has not set in with investors.
Very true.
So they are happy with, I'm doing PF, which is a compulsory thing.
8%.
I'm doing PPF, again for the reason of tax saving when it comes to a business community. Whereas the saving part itself is not kicked in. That's number 1. Number two, quite a lot of people now started getting the awareness of NPS, mainly because of the tax saving perspective, right? I save X amount of tax, let me get into that one, rather than really this investment is required when I turn 60, from 60 to 90, there is a corpus required, right? That's number two. Number three, if you look at when you said, though it's not the best, in my opinion, this also comes under the best category, mainly because earlier savings predominantly it was towards, or it's been towards fixed income oriented investment, be it bank deposits, be it post office deposits, be it EPF, right? It's a fixed income return. Today we are at 8 plus, it's a fixed income one. The product which comes with an equity plus investment, which gives you a double-digit return in the last so many years, and we haven't seen this kind of a product earlier, right? It's a phenomenal product in many aspects. One is it comes with the equity mix, which is a very, very good one. It comes with the tax advantage. Again, it's a very, very good one. In my opinion, more than these two, the behavioral one. This brings a discipline to the investors.
Exactly.
When I say discipline, it's not putting your money into the system, but also for the long term. The wealth gets created only it started having the compounding effect, right?
Correct.
That happens in this kind of a product, right? A 20 years journey, 25 years journey in a product, right? It is a phenomenal this thing. So when we talk about this thing, we talk about three buckets of a individual who's working in a corporate. The one being your PF, the compulsory investments. Second is the NPS. Most of the people, the problem here, they're sticking to only the 50,000 because of the tax one. We say don't look at tax is an incidental advantage.
Yes.
You look at as your real requirement when you turn 60. And the third bucket is the general investment. Now mutual fund has caught up very well for their SIPs, and then we also suggest them to do it in that one. So we create the three buckets, calculate the return part, each has got a different return matrix, and then work towards the final numbers. And we say one portion of your investment should go for NPS, mainly because of the discipline part. Right. In the third bucket, when we are talking about mutual funds, the trend is that once you create a corpus, say X sum, 25 lakhs or 50 lakhs, I'm just giving a number. Human mind, right, Kurian? They will get tempted towards taking out and buying a new car. Every day there is a new car getting launched. Every day there is a new phone getting one. And tours, right, the world tours. We say nothing is wrong in going all those things, but you plan it. Don't trouble your investment, shake the long-term investment for your short-term requirements.
Very true.
So once these things are into the place, right, then then this is one of the best product which they have to have it in their portfolio.
I totally agree. I think we need to differentiate between short-term investments and long-term investments. NPS is a product which you invest for your future at the time when your primary cash flow stops. You have other requirements for a house, a physical asset, a phone, children's education, and you have mutual funds for that. So it's not an either or. It's both are required. Asset allocation is the name of the game. Diversification is the name of the game, and then that's where NPS kind of comes into role. And along with what you said, tax is incidental, but yes, tax is important. It is also a Government of India scheme. It's regulated by PFRDA, which is again set up by an Act of Parliament. There is a trust which is taken care by the National Pension System. There are trustees. These are trustees who are appointed by the Government of India. So that kind of gives you the support or the safety net that this is a Government of India scheme. It is not a fly-by-night entity. It's been around since 2004. It's got a track record that's set up. It's beating returns from multiple products. So what factors would influence you or would influence an investor to select NPS or select other retirement plans?
So one is their lifestyle, right? It all depends on how much you are spending month on month. And the second thing is the time horizon.
Yeah.
The time is a very, very crucial factor in the long-term investments, right? More time, it's easier for you to travel that destination, right? So in that context, we look at the time as a very, very essential thing. How long you have to do the savings and then start taking out the money from that. That's one. Second thing is most of the families today, right? Both husbands, and both spouse, husband and wife are working in a corporate, right? So that makes things easier for them, right? Both people adding the corpus to the kitty, right? It grows faster. It grows faster and bigger. And they can take a call when they turn 55 or 60, right? They can take a call and then go for even early retirement also in that one. That's number 2. Number 3, very, very more technical in nature, the asset mix. What assets I'm going to invest for my retirement corpus? When you say predominantly I'm keeping money in fixed deposits, predominantly I'm keeping money in EPF, by and large, I'm keeping money in one of the options in NPS. It depends on what kind of assets you are in. If you are in a fixed income oriented one, your pace of growth would be slower, obviously, right? So one is you take time into consideration. You also look at the asset mix, which you do it for your retirement corpus. These two are the essential one. The third one is the behavior thing. Time and again, I'm using this word because we have been experienced through our customers and their behavior. The education towards the long-term investments, right, is very, very critical in this one. If you start shaking your long-term investment for a short-term requirement, then you are done.
Very true. And you and I who are in the investment field, and I'm sure you face a lot of people, tell us what to buy, tell us which stock to buy. I think it's more important that time in the market is more important than timing the market. So I think that's an old adage, but you have to allow the eighth wonder of the world, power of compounding to kick in. And that is the only way. And keep it slow, keep it steady, keep it simple. That is the only aspect that works. So just to get a fix, like you mentioned that NPS is something that you offer. And we as manufacturers, we who are pension fund managers in this particular space, realize that there is not too much awareness of this particular product. Maybe because the revenue model may not be very remunerative. Maybe there are other products that can give you much better products. But the way I look at it, and I talk to advisors like you, people who put the interest of the customer or the subscriber in first before revenue model, they tend to recommend that this should be part of your basket. This can't be your only product, but this is part of your basket. So do you see a pushback when you say put money into NPS and people ask you what is NPS?
No, that period is gone. People are aware of NPS, especially the corporate people. They clearly knows the tax advantage and about that one. But structurally, they are not aware of that one, right? They say, I've done it with NPS. Within NPS, you've got so many options, right, Kurian? The second thing is when you mentioned about the tax saving options available in this thing, it's simple mathematics. If you are doing a 50,000 for the purpose of tax saving, right? Straight away you are saving additional 15,000 in the form of tax, right?
Yes.
People should actually think about it's not me putting 50,000, it's actually 65,000 in a year, right? You should save the tax, put it here.
Plus you get,
When somebody is doing for 20 years, a guy who is at 40 doing the NPS for 20 years, though the input value is close to 15 into 20 is 3 lakh rupees. Whereas if he gets additional 10 lakh rupees as an income.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
It's just a simple mathematics, right? I'm doing 50,000. The person who is doing 65,000, right, is far ahead of this one because of the compounding effect over 20 years. People should understand these things. But as far as the awareness of NPS, it started catching up. People are looking as an option to investments. Many people have done. We suggest them that one portion of your investment, at least to the level of 50,000, you should do it in this NPS product. But also when we are traveling with the customer, Kurian, very important aspect, again I'm talking about the behavior. If the person is not very, very control on his money, right, then we always ask them to put more money in NPS because you can't take out the money in between, right? That gives him a lot of discipline. That helps him to achieve his financial goal in the long run, Kurian.
And very true. I think it's money that's not visible to you gets saved, and I keep telling, there's a simple mathematics to it. Inflow minus savings is expense, or inflows minus expense is equal to saving. Most people say, I get this salary, I spend this money, whatever is left, I invest. I think you need to switch it around and say, this is my salary and I have to save.
Correct, Kurian, you are absolutely right. You made a point in between. It's not how much money you make. It's how you manage money is very, very crucial.
The discipline.
So we have seen couples earning 4-5 lakhs in a month, but if you look at their savings pattern or their existing investments, they are clueless where the money is going. There are guys who are earning less, but they are very disciplinedly putting the money, right?
Yeah.
So that's a very important aspect in the one. That's point number one. Point number two, if you look at there are few people who earns a lot, they go everywhere. It's like my friend told to put money in crypto, I'm doing it. My friend told me to buy a stock, yes. Some social media guys came and spoke about certain things, they are getting into that one. Without understanding what is required for you, what is the right way to approach the investment, that's completely missing. That comes over a period of time, especially when they deal with people like you or me who have experience in that one, right? Time and again we talk, it's like mother telling you to bring the discipline, right?
True.
6 o'clock you open the book and read. 8 o'clock you go for a dinner, right? These are all the basic things. In this context, hardly few people talk about this basic discipline.
Very true.
Which we always feel that's a very important or a core aspect in the financial savings. Once this setting, right, then what you want to read, that's a different thing.
Very
right?
true.
6 o'clock opening the book is very important, right, than what you are reading, right?
Correct.
So once it is done, then the channelizing the money, speed of their investment, corpus creation, calculation, all those things which we take care of. That.
So you hit the hammer on the nail, and I think it's most important to get the discipline, get the behavior right, start investing, start small, start big, but start. I think the whole important is start and stay invested.
Correct. And also the convenience of investment, right? What it used to be when you want to invest, you have to carry papers, go to their office, do the investments. Today, everything is there in front of you. All you have to do is the click of button.
Correct.
Right? That's a very, very...
The whole process is online. When the whole process is online, all you need is an Aadhaar, a PAN card, a cancel check. That's also a photo and a wet signature. That's also a photograph of a signature. So it's completely digitally enabled. So it's meant for everybody. For people who are not digitally savvy, you can do the physical way as well. So it's become much simpler, much easier, and that just helps getting the product more acceptable to a lot more people.
Yes.
Thanks, Mathav. I think it's been a pleasure chatting you up. I see that you have perfectly slid into the role from a manufacturer to an advisor, and you've been playing the role pretty well. I wish you all the best, and it's good to know that you are one of the proponents of NPS. Thanks, Mathav, for taking some time out and spending with us.
Thank you, Kurian. Thank you so much.
Thank you.